Hello, Encorps fam, and welcome to
Real Check!
another episode of Real Check. This time around, we're actually going to take a quick break from the Jurassic Park series, and we just saw a interesting movie.
That interesting is definitely the word I would choose, Ron. The film is called Circle. It came out in 2015. For those of you who do not know anything about the plot, the synopsis basically is a group of guys, people I should say, about 50, right?
Yes.
It was, okay, are abducted by some force. I don't know, it could be extraterrestrial, it could be a government agency. As we will lead on in the review here, a lot of things are left to question. But anyways, they're all brought together and they're basically playing some kind of death game, death match, whatever, to see who can survive. You know, last man standing, that sort of thing.
So before we, now we're going to continue here. We're going to actually just start with the plot. I'll go first.
Okay, yeah.
So, the plot...
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god. Okay, before I begin that actually, let me go back a couple of steps here.
Okay.
Let's talk about, actually, I was reading up some reviews about the movie. I saw the movie surprisingly had a rating of a 6 out of 10 on IMDb. Now, I sat there trying to figure out why. Why has this movie got such a high rating that it should have gotten? Well, I sat there and thought maybe because the film was a bit thought-provoking. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but the thing is, I thought maybe because it was more thought-provoking, that people really enjoyed, like, thinking about what's going to happen next, you know, maybe a little bit suspenseful. You never knew who was going to die next.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But the other thing it all comes down to, you know, it's still kind of is not no 6 out of 10.
Nah, definitely
but
not.
We'll let you know our rating towards the end of this. Now, we'll go into the plot.
Okay.
Basically, the plot, Dave pretty much stated the synopsis of it, we could per se.
It's really simple.
Very simple plot. A lot of plot holes. Alright, so first plot hole. We're watching, and we're trying to find out, why are these people in a circle? Why is this game being played? Who is it being played by? Now, of course, you may argue that those are questions that maybe the director was asking. But if he had, those kind of questions should already be answered.
Yeah.
Like,
there's got to be some resolution here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to have some resolution. You don't want to be having your audience asking too many questions. I mean, that's something that I'll admit, even in some of our older movies, there were a couple of older movies that were kind of like, you know, what's happening, what's going on here, what, you know, that kind of thing. We'll admit.
It left you hanging.
Yeah, we left you hanging, you know, at times. We did.
Yeah.
We're aiming to be more structured and more conclusive, only leaving with little questions. Some movies may have a little more questions than others. Anyway, back on track about Circle here. Yes, there's 3 questions already mentioned. Also, who should be really rooting for? Why should I be rooting for this character? Or why should I be rooting for that character? What are their backstories? You can tell one person's a police officer, someone was some kind of gangster at one point, and you could tell there were some elderly people and things like that, and a pregnant woman.
Yeah,
but
cancer survivor. There was the little girl.
Yeah, and there was, but like the thing was, why should I root for them? They're kind of there. I mean, in a sensitive kind of note, you would want the kid or the pregnant woman to at least survive. So that's what, everyone here, me and Dave and our friend Eric that watched the movie with us, we'll hope those ones would be the survivors.
Yeah. That was the only real elements in this movie, or elements to be more precise, that got us intrigued watching it. Like, oh wow, what's gonna happen? I care about that person, but only because of the social norm and how things are in society. And
yes.
Other than that, you take that out. The other characters and stuff like that, and the plot didn't really serve. They were just kind of almost cardboard cutouts. Really, it was.
Exactly. When you look at the film, you probably, when you're first watching it, you're wondering, there's just too many questions you're asking. That's just a problem. You can't be leaving your audience with too many questions, even at the end of the movie. Why? How did this one survive? Why did he survive? This is, by the way, if you haven't seen the movie, these are spoilers, but I don't think people care.
Yeah.
But majorly, there's a guy towards the end of the film that, why? Why was he able to be the one to survive? Maybe he was the one manipulating everything. What's going on here? Like, why is it all happening?
Yes, definitely.
So, that's the major problem here with the plot. It's just it asks too many questions. So, well, now I think the next. So about you, what do you think?
What do I think about the plot?
Yep.
Paper thin plot, really. I mean, I understand the concept and the basic idea behind the film, but the problem with it was that there was too much time on their hands. They tried to stretch out the basic core of the film. It would have worked better as a short film. Decrease the number of people, have the resolution, as we're saying at the end. I mean, I do understand certain parts, and I did like certain directions that they took with it, especially with the whole, the age difference between the characters was cool, you know what I mean? And how they were singling out everybody like they said, the process of elimination. Who really deserves to survive this, who gets to live and who doesn't, that sort of thing. But it was just too much time. It was an hour and a half, was it?
No, I think an hour. No, yeah, an hour and a half. You're right. No.
Yeah, and for the writing that they had in the film, it was just not a whole lot there. So you're watching it, and it's just kind of like, next. You know what's coming, and there were a lot of cliches in there too, which bothered me as well.
I guess the stereotypical feel, stereotypical.
Yeah, with the characters, the way that they dressed, the way that they talked, and that sort of thing, and it was kind of all right. I've seen this before in better productions.
And when going back into when we talked about the cast and all that, definitely there was no one you wanted to root for.
Yeah.
Now everybody you just was like, oh, this is just arguing. Like literally, Eric was just like, this is about arguing.
Yeah, it was just debating, debate after debate,
and
it's like, okay, we're done, we've seen this, move.
And then it's like they want you to what was it? Oh yeah, they were trying to find a solution to the problem. So someone volunteer to kill themselves so we can have 2 more minutes to discuss how we're gonna get everybody to live.
Yeah.
But of course, that's what happens. That's a whole nother ball game. It ends up that that only one person can survive. But the thing is, why is this game being played? Just a lot of why questions.
Yeah.
And what is behind it? I would have at least wanted the what behind it.
Yeah.
Something to kind of key. Oh, okay. Like towards the end, you saw UFOs, and people go, "Oh, it might be aliens," but it would be good to kind of have an idea to say, "Oh, hey, maybe aliens from Mars decide to do this, or aliens from Jupiter."
Well, that actually brings up a really good thing here with that. Okay, with the plot. What I found bothering was if it was really extraterrestrials, and with the fact that they did insinuate that the project, the whole deaf game was being played in order to explore the human's nature. Why the hell is the extraterrestrial going to care about that? They're not. And there's plenty of other ways to find out how humans interact. Just watch them every day. Shit happens. It's very basic. So that was unnecessary. If it really was like aliens, I'm kind of hoping it was more like a government kind of thing. But then again, even then, it wouldn't make sense as far as the information that they have given us. We can't really, it wasn't described correctly to us at all. It was just kind of, like you said, more questions. Really, it was a bother just watching it. It's just like, okay, I want to see what is going on behind this. Who's this mastermind, or they, I should say, because it was probably a group. But, once again, we don't know because they just didn't get down and give us the details. It was all. They insinuated, like I said, that it was about the human nature and wanted to see how we would react to certain things. But once again, it's been done before. It's been done better. It had, it was more complete, and this film was just not. Like I said, it was very paper thin plot wise, and that actually leads into the cast and the characters, which you can't really get into a whole lot of explanations and details about that either, because the writing with the characters was just, like I said, stereotypical. It was this, I gotta say, this is probably one of the more harder films to talk about, just because it I don't know. There's good things about it. The production value was nice. I did like the production value.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looked great. It looked awesome. I mean, my eyes were very pleased with it. Now there were problems with the way that they shot it. You know what I mean? Especially with the dark and people wearing certain shirts. You couldn't really. The lighting was definitely needed. It needed an improvement for sure. But yeah, it's a very complicated movie to talk about just because it's kind of like a hit and miss, kind of scenario. And this film is in the middle. It's hard. It's not bad, but it's not good either.
No.
Yeah.
He's right. Absolutely. You can't even tell if it's a hit or miss movie. You really can't.
No.
I mean, even there are also a couple of other movies out there I could think of that were hit and miss, like kind of in the middle in between. Like they had good intentions, but the movie didn't really make the hit mark.
Mm-hmm.
Another great example. Well, before going a little off topic real quick, have you ever seen The Last Witch Hunter? I just felt there was still a little bit of plot holes in there that were not filled.
Yeah.
So it kind of it didn't leave me with it was a great grand movie. I didn't say it was a shitty movie either.
Yeah.
So it's kind of still a mix. I can't say it's a good or a bad movie. It's still in the middle. I mean, the thing is, I'm story driven when I want to watch a movie. I want to watch a good story.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's how I am. And I thought this movie was going to be story driven.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they didn't deliver with the story. Also, the same thing about The Circle here. They didn't deliver the story again. The Circle movie, just same problem.
Mm-hmm.
Same problem. You still ask I asked too many questions at the end of the movie. I was like, why, what, why, how? What's that's nothing that you shouldn't be having to do with the audience. Now I said again, if the film was supposed to be thought provoking, it worked to some degree.
To some extent, yes.
But I think they left too many questions opened.
Mm-hmm.
There were still things unanswered. I told when we watched the movie, I was like, maybe they could have did something along the lines of like maybe having a couple of characters to show their backstory before everything happened.
Yeah. I was hoping that they would have flashbacks or something. Now that would have been interesting and it would have added depth to the characters, and then you would have been more connected when they get killed off. But no, that didn't happen in this one.
And so basically, you were kind of like, I mean, the only reason you want the person to die was because either they said some asshole remarks.
Yeah, the assholes basically got killed, so it wasn't really suspenseful either. That's another element too that was missing, was the suspense.
When you make movies, a good thing you need to do, and something I've learned, is definitely you want to leave the audience in suspense.
Yeah.
I mean, because think about it. You may already know what's going to happen, but you don't know when or how it's going to happen. That's how you have to play it out.
Mm-hmm.
You want the audience to know, like you kind of already foreshadow what's going to happen, but when is it going to be executed?
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably one of the that's one of the few things I've learned. But I said the problem with this film didn't do it.
No.
It absolutely just kind of was like, oh, I guess this person's dying. Okay.
Yeah.
Like we were literally saying, oh, that person's gonna die next. Boom. Exactly.
Yeah, we called it. It was, you could kind of foresee where they were gonna go with it. Once again, it was just,
So I'm gonna
Circle. I mean,
that literally is no. Literally, that's what the movie is. It puts you in a big circle.
Yeah, it's like I don't know where to, when to stop. It's just, you okay?
I just went like this, and I went, and I felt a little burn on my finger.
Okay, so yeah, Circle. It's just, I don't know. I really don't.
It just puts you in a big circle.
Yeah. You just.
That's literally it. It's literally what it is. Now thinking about it, the title was probably called Circle because it puts you in a big circle about this whole movie. So we're gonna go ahead and try to conclude it here. I'm basically gonna give it a, let's say a 3.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's where I would go. The problem is it had the potential we needed, but it left too many questions open.
Definitely.
If they would have answered more questions, I would have given it a higher rating.
Mm-hmm.
But because they left so many things open, they left too much. And I would say, when I read some of the reviews, some people did maybe point these out, but that's okay, because everyone's different.
Yeah.
Maybe some people just enjoyed it because they really liked the system, like seeing how, you don't know what's going to happen, whatever. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. But
personally, when you have a movie, you gotta have some type of story. You know, that you kind of have to have some, idea. But maybe you're gonna do something thought-provoking. Do the questions that you want to leave open, but answer everything else.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna be important. Because if you want to say, "Oh, I'm gonna leave all the questions open," you're literally making a film that people are gonna ask too many questions, and now they're gonna process questions so fast they're not even gonna know how to get the answers.
Mm-hmm.
So, in conclusion, the movie left you with too many questions.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I gave it a 3.5, only because it left me with way too many questions.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to end, your particular take on this here. 3.5. I might give it a little bit higher. Might give it a 4. The production value, it did look nice. Love to have been on the set doing something like that. It definitely keeps you watching it, but it's not enough to save the film. The film it lacks. It's just, it's okay. It's not, like I said, it's not bad. It's not good, but I don't know.
So with that, we're going to go ahead and conclude.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say thank you guys for your time. If you liked the video, please like, favorite, and subscribe to the channel. It would absolutely help out. Also, if you share the video, we're going to try something out we're going to try hashtags out. So put hashtag Encorps Films, the way it's spelled, ENCORPS,
Yes.
films, together. So if you want, it'd be a good way to spread it. So we're going to try it out. So if you guys definitely like the video, please go ahead and like, favorite, subscribe, and also, when you share it, definitely hashtag Encorps Films.
Okay, and I guess until next time, you take care, and we'll be seeing you.
Hopefully next time we'll be going back into Jurassic Park.